Developmental wounds filter out every single experience in our life. They're also some of the most difficult wounds to address because the moment that we start working with them, they actually have the power of completely destabilizing our lives. But not healing them has greater consequences in the long term. Even if we're aware that we have a mother wound and we are working on it, we actually run the risk of bypassing the real work because we can trick ourselves into believing that we're healing something when in reality we're actually just recycling emotions instead of releasing them. In this episode, I'm going to discuss what's the real cause of not healing the mother wound from the root and how to find out if you're actually making progress or if you're just bypassing or recycling your emotions. My name is Silvana. I'm a course creator and the founder of the Venusian Academy, a space for the exploration of the divine feminine arts and Chakra Tantra. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and like this video for more content like this. I'd like to begin today's conversation with my personal definition of healing. For me, healing means to make whole again. To heal is to put together the fragmentation that happened at certain stage during our developmental years, or even outside of our developmental years. It's just turning the fragmented parts of the self back into wholeness. So healing is not perfection, it's just wholeness. And wholeness means different things to different people. We all have a different interpretation of it. It goes without saying that healing requires a tremendous amount of courage. And also, there's no one size fits all. What is healing for one person can actually be very damaging for another person, or it can be keeping them in self-destructive habits. So that's why it's important to make our own definitions of what healing is and what it looks like for ourselves individually. So the mother wound and its root, it's the cutting off from an external source of nurturing and acceptance. The mother wound creates separation and fragmentation within ourselves, how it relates specifically to our emotional body. So what are some of the things that can happen when we don't heal the mother wound from the root? Because again, remember I said it's very easy to remain distracted with the maybe I'm healing it, but in reality, you're just recycling emotions. So if we don't heal the mother wound, we run the risk of constantly sacrificing our inner child or our emotions just to remain in connection with other people. We think our inner child is this thing in the back over here, but it's present in every part of our life experience and is actually our most innocent self. So if we don't heal the mother wound, we're constantly violating our own innocence and sacrificing it at the altar of acceptance for people that might not even be good for us, or they don't love us in the way that we think, because obviously we're carrying a mother wound. We're attracting, like the wound becomes a filter and the filter attracts other individuals' experiences like that. So we're playing at this game of I sacrifice myself at the expense of my own innocence. And for me, that's one of like the most costly results of not working on the mother wound. We can also trick ourselves, gaslight ourselves into believing that we are not compromising certain values, when in reality we are, because we are not even connected to what are our needs to begin with. Another symptom of not healing the mother wound is that we cannot even identify what our needs are because we are so completely disconnected from them. And if we don't know what our needs are, we are unable to really and effectively communicate them to other people. We're also more likely to project our own assumptions onto other people without the spaciousness of curiosity. And this happens because a wound makes us stay in the known. Everything unknown is dangerous, but the wound keeps you trapped in that energy. So there's no curiosity. You think you know. You think you know what this person meant. You think you know what they said. You think you know, this assumption that I know and that I'm projecting my own reality into others is one of those silent manifestations of also carrying a mother wound. We can also completely reject certain things. For example, we are unable to bear solitude. We're unable to bear abandonment, rejection, or loneliness. Our decisions come from the fear of not ever feeling again the emotions that we didn't process whenever the mother wound happened. Also because the mother wound is the primary developmental wound. Everything in our life gets the filter of shame and guilt. And there's this constant sense of dissatisfaction with our life. This sense of lack of acceptance is actually a result of the mother wound, because if we're not able to accept life as it's presenting itself, this is almost like an external manifestation of a part of myself that I'm not accepting. So we become chronically dissatisfied. There's also an inability to make certain sacrifices that honor our innocence but threaten our comfort zone. And a very sneaky way that this can show up is by unconsciously mothering other people. Because if I'm mothering other people, I don't have to mother myself. So I sacrifice my innocence, I sacrifice my inner child for the sake of this other person's innocence, because that is more comfortable. See, whenever we project, we're comfortable because the mess is over there. It's not here. We don't have to feel it ourselves. And we see it everywhere. The world is full of individuals that want to mother other people, heal other people, guide other people without being able to do that for themselves. This is a beautiful sentiment of wanting to mother, guide, heal. But the problem happens whenever we bypass ourselves, whenever we try to heal ourselves by healing other people. This will never work. It has to start within, because I can only guide somebody as deeply as I've guided myself, and I can only carry the healing power of the parts of myself that I've already healed. So we can only do and help other people in the areas of our life that we have genuinely helped ourselves. That's why whenever we have those developmental wounds of mother and father wounds, there's a sense of confusion, because we give ourselves evidence. No, I'm doing the healing work. I'm doing all these things. I am creating these things in my life. So therefore, I'm done and now I can do this. But that is an interesting trap that we can get ourselves into. And the only way to really get out of that trap is by doing the work that we're bypassing. So it's kind of like a catch-22 scenario where you don't know you are in the wound until you heal it, but you won't heal until you see it. But if you think that you already healed it, you won't be able to see it. So this is the importance of time alone and reflective work, and giving ourselves the space to get to know ourselves, not being oh, I know who I am right now. No, we don't know. Okay. And if we can just accept this abstract unknown of the self, there is enough spaciousness for exploration. And it's through exploration of the self that we're able to identify where are those developmental wounds really rooted at, and how to begin healing them. And if you do have a genuine desire wanting to heal other people, notice if there's a sense of urgency, or I need to become a mother right now. That urgency energy, that's a red flag. That's saying hey, what is so urgent about this? Because life moves at its perfect rate, and we'll move at different rates. And oftentimes after the deconditioning and the healing process, we find that we actually move really slowly compared to the pace of the world. So question the sense of urgency, because that might be an indication that there's a little bit of bypassing happening within ourselves. A very important point that I want to make is that you cannot individuate if you're carrying a mother wound. That's a big one. It's big because these wounds sometimes take us our entire lives to really dig into them. It does. And the thing to understand is life is not linear in the way that the mind tells us it is. Life is a spiral. So it's not first I heal, then I individuate. No. It's that as you're healing, you're individuating. But you cannot fully individuate if you're carrying this dormant mother wound in your energetic field and in your emotional body. Healing the mother wound is a process of radical acceptance to the wound, the emotions that the wound creates, and the reality that the wound manifested. And then there is the slow integration of all of these fragmented parts that are covered in the unpleasant emotions that we are rejecting, that become part of the self again after we've processed those emotions. If you heal your relationship with your emotions, you are in turn healing the mother wound. except that this is done outside of the story. When we're doing mother wound healing, it's like we have the story of the mother of what happened, but whenever we're just healing the emotional body, we're kind of removing the story. This is like both avenues. Both of them will lead you to the same place, which is that emotional wholeness, and that is the resolution of the mother wound, emotional wholeness. If you know that you're carrying a mother wound and you're not sure where to start, how to start working with it, then I recommend you check out my program, Venusian Woman, because we dedicate one out of the 3 pillars exclusively at healing the mother wound. And this is an 8-module pillar that is going to guide you through the emotional process of it, and also the uncovering and reframing of the story that is connected to the mother wound. So if you want to sign up, the link is in the description box below or in the show notes. And if you like this video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time.